always remember.
The range of entertainment that a Star Wars fan can regularly consume is no less than a buffet in the modern age. But for a large period of time, the galaxy was held together solely by its books. For people like me who find it imperative to read with an audio companion, the classic and, dare I say, crucial sounds of a Star Wars story are a necessity when experiencing its stories. Whether it's a blaster, an alien language, or the snap ignition of a lightsaber, the sounds of Star Wars only enhance those words in the books, making them fly at light speed off the page. However, no sound is as important as the voices of our heroes, villains, and the entire cast of characters in between. We are pleased today to have with us on this episode of Determined Focus one of the undisputed GOATs of Star Wars narration, our personal favorite, put that on the books, and the man we want blessing our eardrums when listening to a Star Wars audiobook, Mr. Marc Thompson. Mr. Marc Thompson, we are so happy to have you here today.
Oh, wow. Thank you. What a cool intro. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, we are stoked to have you here.
We're obviously talking a little bit about Master of Evil, but we've got some other stuff too, because you are just a big Star Wars fan like us. We see it all in the background. Which is, it's always good when there is a Star Wars fan working on Star Wars stuff, someone who's passionate about their craft. I just wanted to say as well before we get into the questions that we listen to a lot of these audiobooks. We do a lot of reading and things like that. And it is astounding to me how I can listen to the ones that you do specifically, and on a whim, like the one that comes to mind is like Heir to the Empire, of course. That's, I think, one that like most people have listened to, right? Even if they've not listened to a lot of the books. The fact that you can switch to so many of these characters, and it just feels, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just listening to Luke Skywalker. Oh, I'm listening to Leia. Or I'm listening to Thrawn, to Han, whatever, is just, it's insanely impressive, the range that you have. So I just got to put you on a pedestal there. You gotta give you props.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And
yeah,
it's I'm happy to know that that's resonating with people, because I love getting to do it. It's my favorite thing that I get to do in my job, and I am a lifelong fan. So just the fact that I get to play in this galaxy is a big deal to me, and we definitely spend a lot of time trying to get that stuff as close as we can get it. So it makes me very happy to know that you enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it absolutely shows. I think everybody can agree. But starting off just with a little Master of Evil question. So the book's been out for about four-ish months. Wow, 4 months. Okay, wow, that's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, time has flown by. What was your reaction when you got the offer on doing this kind of weird, I would say almost like psychedelic, horrific, trippy Vader story? Because the book is Vader, right, but it's also so much more than that. But what was, when you got the pitch, when you got the offer, you heard you were doing it, what was your reaction like?
Well, I was definitely excited. I saw the first thing was I saw the cover art, and I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
It's such a kind of haunting and creepy, cool cover. So I was very intrigued and very, very excited about that. So obviously excited. I think anytime it's anything to do with a legacy character from the original films, there's an added amount of responsibility and kind of feeling of like, okay, I got to make sure we get this right, or this is, this feels like really important,
Yeah.
So, and then as I started getting into it, I think we may have chatted about this before at ICCC, but I love the Force. I love Force mythology. That's my in for Star Wars. So so the opening, I don't know how much spoiler stuff we're allowed to do or not do, but there's some stuff in the opening that kind of sets up, the MacGuffin and just, a temple and it that like drew me in right away. And I was like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
what is it? So,
yeah.
And so, and then as I kind of went on and read it, I had a similar reaction that I've seen other people have. Is like, oh, so it's not just Vader. Like Vader's a part of this, but it's almost like it's almost like seeing Vader through the POV of someone else, you know, which kind of has its own interesting perspective to that, because it's like, you know, like when you're doing text analysis on scripts and stuff like that, they'll teach you that it's not just about the lines that your character has, but what do other people say about your character, you know? And this felt like, in terms of that book, when you have like, you know, Goth and some of the other characters, like it's almost fun, like rediscovering Vader through their eyes, you know, and kind of like there was an interesting, not what I expected, but it was like a different way that maybe gets you to appreciate things about Vader's character by seeing him through these other characters' perspective and their own struggles. And, you know, so yeah, it was great. Like, I think initially I was like super excited and super like, oh no. And then when I got into it, it was like, oh, this is not quite what I expected. But then by the end of it, I was like, I really like this though. I think this is really cool. It was a neat way to approach the story. So
yeah, I've seen a lot of people say they were kind of subverted by the way the book was, because like it is a Vader story, but like you said, it's not from that POV of Vader. And of course, I mean, we have so many stories that are from Vader's perspective, right? I mean, that's really what the main movies are about. So it is fun, especially in this specific time period, obviously a big 20-year gap between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, to see it, especially through like an Imperial. And Will and I are right there with you when it comes to like the stuff with like the Force and the intrigue of that, and like vergences and everything. Like you, like right off camera, you have the was it the Dagobah cave scene, the Macquarie arts?
Oh my god!
Yeah. So like, and so like that is always something that's such a big deal for me, where I'm like, because it's so good. Like, that's the Cloud City fight, but any of the whole vergences and stuff like that is super fascinating. So as soon as you throw into that, like that mythology, you know, is just it is so cool. But I'm gonna pass it off to Will for some fun stuff.
Sure. Okay. We got into some nitty gritty to start off, but it would not be an episode of Determined Focus without some games.
All right.
It's kind of the way we do this here. We have some fun. We talk about deep stuff. We get really lore heavy on Star Wars, but we do have some games. So it's time for Rank Ferric.
Rank Ferric.
Welcome back to Rank Ferric, everybody's favorite segment of Determined Focus. Don't call me Uncle Owen because I'm not farming moisture. I'm farming clips, baby. It's time for Rank Ferric. We got some games to do. Grayson.
What a great name.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That was a fun one to
We were trying to think of segment names, and when we do a lot of games on here, and when Rank Ferric came up, I was like, we got to do it. And so speaking of Rank Ferric, we will be doing a blind ranking to start off. Grayson, take it away.
Yeah, so we like to do these blind rankings, and we like to tailor them to our guests. Of course, you have voiced, I would say, hundreds, if not almost thousands at this point, of characters when it comes to Star Wars. But you're going to be blind ranking 5 characters specifically that you have portrayed. Now, you can rank them however you want to, whether how much you like them, or how fun it was to actually get to be them and get to be in that sandbox. But these are 5 characters that you have portrayed, and you'll be ranking them, I guess, for lack of better terms, least favorite to favorite. But it's really up to you. If you wanted to rank it, how much
ranking before?
No.
Oh.
All righty. So you know how it works. Like I'll say one, and then you'll put it in like a 1 to 5 spot, but you don't know what's coming next.
Oh man, that's so hard. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we got 5 for you. I'm going to list them out one by one, and you are going to put them in these slots. The first character that you've portrayed that you'll be choosing will be Darth Vader.
Oh man. Oh, that's hard. That's so hard.
Yep.
Oh, darn it. Okay. Well, but I don't know. What if I get like, oh golly. Okay. So, oh man. All right. I'm going to say, if I'm going 5 from least and 1 is favorite, I'm gonna say 3.
Safe.
Because, he's an amazing character, and I love getting to portray him. I'm more of a light side guy, so I feel like I want to save 1 and 2 for like some light side Jedi people.
Cool.
But I can't put him at the bottom because he's so iconic, and so yeah, 3.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, three's a solid spot. Well, speaking of light side, the next pick that you've got is Yoda.
1.
Wow.
He's my all-time favorite. I have a Yoda tattoo.
Yo,
that is so good. So I was gonna say this is like I think my introduction to your work was when you were doing Yoda stuff. I don't remember what it was actually. And I was like, man, it's like this guy can just do an awesome Yoda. Like it's so cool. Good. So yeah, hey, that's number 1 is a great pick. The next selection will be Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious himself.
Oh. See, you're picking all the really, really good ones. He's super fun to do. My apprentice. Like, again, he's so evil, so I'm gonna put him at Crow. I'm so nervous you're gonna have somebody even. I'm gonna say 4.
4 for Palpatine.
He's a bad guy, but he's so fun to do. Like, he's awesome.
So now, what does he have filled in, Grayson?
Right now, we have 1 is Yoda, 2 is blank, 3 is Darth Vader, 4 is Emperor Palpatine, and 5 is blank. So you have 2 and 5 open. You got 2 more. Which one do I want to go with next? Do I want to be
give him a layup?
I was about to say, I was like, I don't. You know what? I'm gonna go. I think this is the one I have to go with next. Luke Skywalker.
Oh, dang it. All right. Well, actually, 2 is pretty good, right?
It's
Yeah,
pretty good.
no, 2's
if
Yoda's your favorite, 2 is like 2's.
Yeah.
We're big Loda. I'm just Yoda and Luke people. So I mean, hey, there you go. So now, unfortunately, I don't know how you're going to feel about this. This people.
This is worst case scenario to have Marc Thompson on.
No.
The 5th one automatically is going to be Grand Admiral Thrawn.
No, wait, I take it back.
He gets a switch.
You do. So we always allow it once that it's set in stone or not set in stone yet. You get 1 swap, so you can swap 1 for another, but they have to stay there. So currently you have number 1 Yoda, 2 Luke Skywalker, 3 Darth Vader, 4 Emperor Palpatine, and 5 Grand Admiral Thrawn. You could swap the places, and 1 will go in the other, and vice versa. They have to stay there.
I'm gonna get crucified for this.
Mark, before you answer, just so you know, it is our favorite thing in the world to have guests come on and do this, because every time they go, man, that was so much fun, I hated it.
Yeah. It's
like, oh man. Oh, golly, Wally. I can't.
See, you did say good guys, light side. You more lean light side. So you do have the 2 light side guys at the top.
I know.
Yeah.
So then by that logic, Thrawn should go 3 because he's more like, you know what I mean? He's not pure evil. He's like more pragmatic and like, but Vader's so iconic. I don't know if I can put Vader last. Like, that's weird. And I don't want Vader to be below the Emperor. Oh, this is awful. I think I got to put Thrawn 4 and Palpatine 5.
Okay. All right.
Those are like all top tier characters, though. My goodness.
Yeah, we tailored it to what we thought Thompson's top 5 would be.
That's awful. Oh,
this is like not even including like High Republic stuff or any. I mean, there's so many other characters, original characters, but we're like, we've got to like throw in the heavy hitters.
If ever sees this, he has to understand the context. Like, he can't pull this out of nowhere.
We're actually going to clip it out of context, and you're going to I'm just kidding.
we got to interview Timothy Zahn last year at Denver Fan Expo, and we did not have him do a blind ranking. And now I am feverishly upset that we didn't have him do a blind ranking. and then gave him Thrawn at the end. We could.
I could see him getting it right out of the gate because he puts so much thought into things.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
I think we
Thrawn thinking through like which characters will he probably say, like
I think we made him rank some ships, right?
we did.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a I think he had like Star Destroyers near the top because I mean, that's like his thing,
Okay.
Mhm.
That's cool.
But yeah, that'd be fun. But yeah, so they're sorry to torture you there for a second, but now the final ranking is at 5 Emperor Palpatine, at 4 Grand Admiral Thrawn, 3 Darth Vader, 2 Luke Skywalker, and 1 Yoda.
If not for Thrawn, I'm pretty happy about that ranking. But like,
Okay.
Yeah,
it feels unfair to have Thrawn so low. But yeah, I should have anticipated that. But yeah,
it's okay.
It's okay.
I think
What are you gonna do?
Thrawn can cope. It's all right.
Look, he's in the middle there. He doesn't have a blue lightsaber, but he does have blue skin. So like, the spectrum is there. For our next portion of Rank Ferric, we are going to do some rapid fire, and these are just immediate. And then after we do all of the answers, we can go back and kind of talk about why you picked each one. Okay. Okay. Favorite Jedi.
Yoda.
Favorite villain.
Thrawn.
Favorite droid.
R2D2.
Your lightsaber color.
Blue.
Okay, cool. All right.
Can
That's
I-
the
can
only
I- can I-
four.
Can I ask one? Can I ask one more? I feel like I have to ask one more.
Absolutely.
What favorite ship?
Okay.
Ooh. Millennium Falcon.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
Real cool.
You're a classic guy.
Thing, but yeah.
Yeah. No,
So-
Falcon is awesome.
If we had to go through each one for your favorite Jedi,
Yeah.
why?
Yoda was, for me, the first time we got to hear like a deep dive on the Force and this concept that it's not about what's on the outside, it's about what's on the inside, and that it doesn't matter what you look like or it's not about your flesh and body. It's about this greater power that's flowing through everything, and just your ability to recognize that and tap into that. And that was like, I don't know, that's probably why I love Star Wars so much, is just the idea of the Force. So that Yoda being the conduit, like Obi-Wan Kenobi is right up there as well, but like the stuff on Dagobah is like so deep for me, and just I have such a deep personal connection to that, and I just love it. And like that Dagobah scene where he lifts the X-wing, and it's just that's my favorite scene in all of Star Wars. I have like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have like storyboards from it over here.
Whoa,
That's insane.
Those are like actually like on set. They made photocopies of the storyboards, and supposedly, according to Prop Store, those were actual, used on set for the effect shot or whatever. So,
Oh my gosh.
and, so I just love that scene, and it just so that blah blah blah. But I love Yoda.
Yoda, Luke Skywalker, and Ahsoka are my top two, but Yoda is a different tier for me, where he's just like very much like it's very hard for me to talk about Star Wars and not talk about Batman or Avatar: Last Airbender. But for Avatar: Last Airbender, Zuko is my favorite character, but Uncle Iroh is like the overarching, and he's the Yoda in that. So I mean, this podcast is literally called Determined Focus because of the Qui-Gon Jinn quote, "Your focus determines your reality," and you don't get there without Yoda lifting the X-wing and Luke saying, "I don't believe it," and Yoda saying, "That is why you fail."
Yes.
So those are the building blocks for it. For favorite villain, I've got a hunch on why it was Thrawn. But why would you say Thrawn?
Well, partly guilt and shame of having him so low. But no, I've spent the most time with him. I think I do like that. I mean, it would be. I guess my honest answer would be it would be a tie between Thrawn and Vader. But I do like that there's redeemable qualities about both of them, and that there's redeemable qualities about Thrawn, and that I love this idea that he is, he is misguided, and sometimes I've tried to debate Timothy about like, but why does he side with the Empire? Like, doesn't he see, how evil that the Empire is, and and it's always, but it always comes back to like he believes that this will preserve the most life, and that this in the long run this will help his people and help the galaxy at large, if there's so I can at least understand the reasoning, even if I don't agree with the reasoning behind him. And I like that he's just such a formidable foe for Luke and now Ahsoka and all these people, and it's just it's fun. It's fun to see somebody that brilliant. It's fun to to see somebody that insightful and to be able to really go toe to toe to them. And I always feel like, especially with the books, I always felt like I couldn't see what he was going to do before he got there, but once he got there, it made total sense how it happened. And like, I'm always kind of amazed by that, because I don't like it when the solution feels like pulled out of nowhere, but like it always felt like the breadcrumbs were there. I just didn't see them until it was time for me to see them. And that is like so impressive and amazing. And so,
love it.
I mean, I think Thrawn, stands tall as kind of the first and, like you said, most formidable villain that is not a Force user.
Yes.
Right? Because you think like original trilogies. I mean, we had Boba Fett was there, but Boba was more, he wasn't really even a villain. He was kind of more like a bystander, right? He's just kind of there for a reason. He's not on that level of like a Vader or a Palpatine. And, the origins of Thrawn and how iconic he is and how he is, I mean, really stood the test of time. I mean, Thrawn is over 30 years old as a character, from his genesis. And like now the fact that he's like, hey, he's so good, we put him in animation. Oh, and now he's in live action is like, I mean, it's like he's easily becoming a household name, which is crazy. Totally. Thrawn's the best.
For favorite droid, it seemed like you kind of like, you were like, I don't know, it was hard. It's tough to think of every droid.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I ultimately went with R2 for nostalgia reasons, just because like he's the one that I grew up with, and so, and I have all the memories of him and Luke, and and everything. So I ultimately went with him for that reason. I am a big Chopper fan. Like Rebels is my all-time favorite of the animation stuff. Like I even more than Clone Wars. Just something about spending time with that family, that found family, because Clone Wars was awesome, but it was like 1 week you're with Kit Fisto and another week you're with, Plo Koon, and, so it was cool. And I love all those adventures, but spending an extended period of time with Kanan and Ezra and Hera and Sabine and Zeb, and you just really get to know them. And so Chopper really makes me laugh, and just, and I love how cranky he is. And so it's but I guess like you could say that Chopper is like an R2-D2 on steroids in a way. Cause like R2 had that kind of same kind of cantankerous personality, so.
Right.
But
For reliability alone, I think R2-D2 is probably the better choice. Over Chopper. Just like if I was in a pinch and like I had to get, I was like, I don't know if I'd get out unscathed if I asked Chopper. I'd probably get out of it. But at least with R2, I would need far less band-aids. So probably R2.
Now you said you're a light side guy. You're obviously a big Jedi guy as well. This is just indulge me here. How do you feel about Hugh Ang?
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, it's just I haven't spent as much time with him. So then, but I really loved seeing him in Ahsoka, and like thought it was so well done. And I loved hearing him tell the stories, of a long time, and just so that was great. And and it was fun. Yeah, I just didn't he didn't come top of mind, but I
oh yeah. For me, the only reason he's so high up for me is just because like I'm such, and you are as well. I can tell based on your background. I'm such a lightsaber nut.
Oh
and
yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just like that's the droid that makes lightsabers. That's
Yeah,
so
you're
cool,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
But no, like R2 is just R2 is on a different level. Same thing with Yoda. It's just like you can't beat it. Anyway,
For your last question or second to last question, lightsaber color, you said blue.
Yeah. I don't know. I always like I sometimes cosplay as Obi-Wan, so I have blue because of that. Growing up, blue is my favorite color. I just associate blue with the light side. I know green is, I don't know how accurate all the stuff is, but it seems like the masters have green, or
yeah.
So but there's something about blue that makes me feel like you're in the hero's journey, or you're there, and there's just something about that color that I connect with more. Maybe it's because Empire was my favorite movie, and that's the color he has there. And green sometimes grows on me, but I like blue's my all-time fave. So
I tend to think, and I don't know if this is true. This is probably not like a blanket statement. This is an absolute, which we know about how we should go about absolutes. But I tend to think that most people, I think their lightsaber colors, like their favorite changes or the one that they want. But I often feel like it usually people lean towards the one that they saw first. Or the one that they resonated with first. And I'm like, I mean, obviously blue was like the only, like that's Luke's color, right? It's Anakin's, right? I'm like, for me, I was like, because I love blue. I'm like, I think back and I'm like, oh, green is mine, mainly because like, I have such an early memory of just like seeing Luke turn on that green lightsaber, and being like, that's sick, But I'm like, but blue is just like, you're right. Like, I never thought about it with like the whole hero's journey thing, right? Like it does kind of embody that. And the fact that Luke starts off with the blue, and Anakin starts off with the blue, and Rey starts off with the blue. Like it's just like it feels.
Yeah.
It's like poetry. They rhyme, So, yeah.
For me, I think when it comes to green being my favorite outside of the Luke Skywalker of it all, green was the first as a kid, the first telescopic lightsaber I had.
Oh yeah,
collapsible one. So like anytime it was like me in the driveway or like in the pool playing with my friends pretending to be lightsabers, it was like, okay, this is my green one. I got a green one. So like that's just in my head. Green is always mine. And then your
I was about to pull that out.
Whoa!
Power saber.
I don't know what mine is.
Dude, mine is up there, and then I have the red one still in the box. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Those are crazy cool.
It's so fun, dude.
And then your last question was vehicle or ship, and you said Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. Probably still nostalgia reasons. It is close though, because I do love X-Wings a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's why that was a huge hesitation there. But the Falcon, I think, wins out for me because it feels like a character. Like it feels like they've fleshed out so much of the history of the Falcon, and it's been through adventures, in two of the trilogies, and like so it's just and I like that it kind of fits my feelings about the Yoda stuff. Is that like on the outside it's a hunk of junk, and on the outside it's like a piece of garbage, like get in the garbage, so it's like but like but then it like on the inside it's awesome, and I guess that depends on who's piloting it, but like I it just feels more iconic. And like X-Wings, I still love X-Wings though, like but it's not like, unless you're dealing with Red 5, it's like they're all kind of just generic, or so there's something about the uniqueness of the Falcon and the history of it that probably makes me want to win out. And plus I got to go on it in Galaxy's Edge, so then it makes
man,
that's always a win.
when you say X-wing, it's like you're dealing with the entire fleet. But then when you think of ship, it's like Grayson and I a lot of times, or like just Star Wars fans in general, talk about like favorite trooper designs. And like you can say like Stormtrooper or Scout Trooper or Snow Trooper, but then like when somebody says Captain Rex, it's like that's just Captain Rex.
Yeah.
Very much like the Millennium Falcon is like that's a character, like you said. Whereas like the X-Wing, it's like it's kind of just like that's kind of around. It's like cop cars, yeah, those are going to be in Gotham City, but like the Batmobile is also there.
Yes.
So I totally agree. And then it will be the end of our Rank Ferric segment. We're not gonna torture you anymore with any blind rankings or on the spot questions. Our next question for you, we're going to kind of get back into the lore, your process, and more of the book side of things and how you do your work. The question I have for you is you've done a ton of different characters over time, and something that Grayson and I talk a lot about, we talked about at the beginning of this episode, the way that you can switch between characters and make those characters so distinct, very much like Allstate. If we are listening to a Marc Thompson narration, we are in good hands. So I just want to say
where you're going with that, but yeah,
there you go, right? The segue had big wheels on that one. Is there a character you find easiest to get into character for, or the hardest character you get, like that takes longer to get into character for?
Yeah. I mean, okay. Gosh, again, this is hard. I'm vacillating between like Vader and Luke. Probably because they're just imprinted on me just from watching the films over and over and over and over and over again. Luke feels very close to my kind of, tone of voice. So like,
that's bonkers, dude.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Will was just like, woo,
yeah.
Just immediately immersed.
And then Vader, I tend to have a lower voice so I can kind of find him a little easier with the Force. I am your father. So like it's a little just because being able to get he can sometimes be hard for me because some of that is based on the proximity to the mic. So like if I sometimes have to lean in a little bit to kind of get the proper amount of resonance in there for that to hit. And then there's also like I'm usually more, I've gotten better over the years, but I get a little bit more picky about his line readings because I really want them to feel like what I have in my head. So sometimes I end up doing, bring him to me, Captain. Like I'll try to like find the exact rhythm. Yeah. And Kevin will be like, we got it 2 takes ago. Move on. Sorry. But so it's like that. So sometimes like I get a little more persnickety with him. So, but those I can tend to kind of lock into those pretty easily, I guess.
Yeah.
Difficult. Yoda, even though he's my favorite, like he is harder to maintain because like if he's just like do or do not, there is no tray. It's like you have that quick one-liner, but if he has like a monologue, it's like hard to keep that raspiness and backward talk rhythm consistent. So sometimes that's hard, like when he has more to say.
Yeah.
And then like, sometimes like I'll pick an alien voice. Like there were like in one of the Thrawn trilogies, there was this character called the Magus. Like it was like this weird like inhale high pitched thing I was doing, and that was another one where I didn't really think through what position scene she was going to have. I was like, this was not a good choice. So
that does in like this is kind of a 2-part question here because it makes me think. This is just I'm curious in the behind the scenes of it all. With you and like the director and everything, like when you're choosing those like new characters, even if they're like a random background character, like how much creative freedom do you get of like, like some random alien on the street or something like that? Like, what is there like a big thought process behind the scenes with you and the producers, or is it just kind of like, hey, just come up with something, Mark?
I have quite a lot of freedom.
Cool.
Every once in a while, Kevin is like really awesome. Like Kevin he's the director. He basically taught me how to do this. So I think early on, he was a lot more hands-on. And that was like 2006 when we first started. So,
oh man, wow.
Yeah. So now I think he's helped me to kind of learn how to know what to look for in character voices, and like in terms of how they're going to be used in the story, how they're going to bump up against other characters. And so I kind of learned some basic things from him. And now we're far enough in where I think I kind of have learned what he was trying to get me to do. And so he gives me a little bit more creative freedom. Every once in a while, like there was one time where I wanted to make a alien sound like Carol Channing, and I was like, "You just sound like a sheet," and she's like, "No, we're not doing that." No, I was like, "Oh." So like every once in a while, he has to like pull me back, but for the most part, they kind of let me play with it and kind of come up with it, and a lot of that is because early on he laid down a really good foundation of teaching me, how important it is that they're all distinct from each other, and that they're, kind of have like, it's like he describes it as like different instruments in the pit of the orchestra. So you want to be able, like they the brass section is going to sound different than the strings and all these different things, but you want them to work well together. So that's something that I've kind of tried to hold on to. So.
Yeah, no, that is awesome, because I've always wondered about that. The second kind of continuation is of with even original characters or new characters. You play a lot of them, as we have said. When you get an opportunity to narrate these stories, what is something that makes a character stand out to you, or more specifically, feel kind of magnetic to you with these newer characters?
I think anytime they have a real strong point of view, like anytime, like there's some, because like sometimes what can happen with characters in books is they can all start to feel very similar to each other, and they all can maybe like they're all kind of swaggery, cool, and like I like it when the characters feel really different from each other, and like you've got one character that's really grumpy or grouchy, or kind of always got a thorn in his side, and then you got another character that's like super idealistic and super noble, and and so that feels like I can really start to separate them in my mind, and they just feel more unique. And so then I feel like I can, there's a lot of stuff I can grab onto in terms of characterization and trying to kind of highlight those qualities. But when they're all like, evil, or they're all like, cocky and confident, or like then they all start to blend together, and it's harder for me to see them as an individual. But like when they have like unique points of view or unique perspectives, or and then it feels more like Star Wars to me. Like when you have a Luke and a Han and an Obi-Wan and a Leia, it's like they're all very distinct from each other, and like I like that Luke is impulsive and passionate, and and kind of driven to do the right thing. And I like that Han is a little arrogant and kind of maybe self-serving, and and that Obi-Wan is kind of stoic and wise, and like they like when you have all of those things, it's I get more attracted to those characters. But when everyone's like I don't know, sarcastic or whatever, it just interesting to me.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's that party contrast, and Will's gonna roll his eyes at me, but I always bring it up in the context of like D&D or a tabletop RPG.
Sure, yeah.
And it's like, and that's that you talked about Rebels. I'm a huge Rebels fan. I got a Kanan tattoo with like his lightsaber and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like if I can turn my wrist. Anyway, and that like that party composition, those characters of like they all feel very different, right?
Yeah.
And in these books as well, like it always stands out to me where I'm like, oh, like one that I loved, and we talked about it back when we met for the first time, but was with the Living Force of like how you did all the different Jedi. And in that book, of course, John Jackson Miller writes all of the Jedi. They feel very distinct, right? Obviously, there's similarities. They're all serving this grander republic, but they all are in very different categories, and you very much extend that with your voice, because it's like a lot of them are just like Eve Koth feels very different from Evan Peel versus Yoriel Poof, who was the biggest goofball in the planet, you know, like so yeah, that I mean, I completely agree, and it makes sense. I feel like you'd be a good DM or a GM, and when it comes to that sort of stuff, especially with Star Wars.
I've never actually played, and I know that's like weird to think about, but like I had a cousin. Well, it's not true. I had a cousin that once played a game with me once, but like I've always been intimidated about the time commitment of getting into it. But like, I know I would love it. Like,
just, well, you know, if you ever want to play a Star Wars one, I've got a bunch of Star Wars books. I've been itching to do one. So,
oh wow!
Well, maybe we'll throw you in there one point. But yeah, Will, I think you've got the next question here
to talk specifically about Master of Evil, or to bring it back to Master of Evil. You got to reprise Dooku in Master of Evil, which you got to play with a little bit in Dark Disciple. Going back to Dooku there, were there any major differences for you, or like the difference between Dooku then versus now with Dark Disciple going back? I mean, personally, starting off with Dooku in that was like, I was hooked immediately.
Yeah, I was like...
So I really enjoyed that. So like from then to now, were there any major differences? Were you like a little nostalgic for like, oh, I got to play with Dooku again? How was that for you?
Oh yeah, no, that was totally awesome. And I was like, wait, what? When is this taking place? What's happening? What? You know, so no, I loved that. And I love those scenes just because they were such a powerful exploration of how the dark side gets you, like how it tempts you, how it worms its way into you. And like, so I really, really was into that. He felt the same to me, but the context of the scene was different. Cause you know, like I think in Dark Disciple, I got to play him kind of condescending to Asajj Ventress and kind of that pompous thing, and there's a little bit of that with the droids, but this was more almost like getting to see Dooku with himself and like kind of his inner monologue. And so that's something I'd never gotten to do before, and that was interesting. And just kind of his playing his lust for power, and you know, that was a neat angle to get to portray, you know. So that was I loved it. So
you do that. Have you ever seen that meme of it's like it's from like one of the source books, and it's like it's like the signature look of superiority. Have you seen that? Or where he's like, it's like the way
as one of his character traits, like it's defining his cape, it's defining his boots, it's defining his lightsaber, and then it's just a line to his face. It's just the look of superiority. It's so
what I like about what I love about your Dooku voice is I'm like, oh, like because when he's interacting with is it like Insor is his name? The like, the like he's just, and all the droids, everything. He's just like, oh, all these people are so beneath me. You know? Like, because he's that aristocrat, right? He's that like, but like he's a count, you know. And it's like I can tell that you're having a lot of fun playing with him. That's very cool. This is more of a broad question. I always reference this because, you're someone who has worked very closely with Timothy Zahn, and Mr. Zahn always quotes something that Leland Chee said, which is that everything in Star Wars is someone's favorite Star Wars.
Yes.
Which I love that so much.
Totally.
So Star Wars covers so many genres and there's so many stories. What are like some specific niche or broad stories that like you really love, or properties, however you want to describe it?
Outside of Star Wars, or
No, well, I'd love to know outside of Star Wars, but no, in Star Wars, of like, is there like a handful of books or comics or video games that are really near and dear to you, Marc Thompson?
Yeah. I was a huge fan of The Force Unleashed. I loved that, just the story of Vader having a secret apprentice, and then the apprentice kind of, turning to the light side was kind of cool,
Yeah.
And that was also, I played it on the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so like it wasn't like perfect motion tracking, but it was one of my first experiences with like, I am,
Yeah.
like, I'm like, it was so fun to like, swing the remotes and like, do the force pushes. And so
cool.
That was it felt like a core memory in a lot of ways. It was like, this is awesome,
Yeah.
So I really love The Force Unleashed, and I'm a huge Sam Witwer fan, and and I just love how passionate he is about Star Wars and his knowledge of Star Wars, and so that I'm a big fan of that. I know I'm gonna sound like a shill, but like I loved the High Republic books. Like I'm a, I've said it a million times, but I'm a big Jedi fan, and just I felt like what Charles and Kevin and all the authors did with this idea that people connect with the Force through different kind of metaphors and how they understand the Force, whether it's water or fire or music, or it's just like
so good.
Yeah, it was amazing. So like, and such a great, I don't know, it just because it simultaneously gets you to appreciate the Force on a big picture level, on an even deeper level, like, oh, I never thought about how it is like that, or that, but then it also connected you to these individual perspectives, and it was really interesting to see the Jedi face a foe that wasn't a dark side Force user or like a Sith, but like just the worldview of the Nihil, like we want peace. Jedi want peace and justice and order, and the Nihil just want chaos, and just it was cool to see those two worldviews like collide, and I don't know. So I just I just really, really connected with those books, and I was super honored to get to narrate them. And I just feel like it was, and it always bugs me. And I know that I've just come to accept it, but it always bothered me when people talk about the prequels, about how the Jedi were, flawed. And I was like, what? Like, no, don't tell me the Jedi are flawed, I'm like, but I guess I've come to accept how, that there's their closeness to the government and working with that was not the right path. But so it felt like redemptive to like get to experience the Jedi in this like peak moment in history where they are living up to their ideals in the most, idealistic way, and embodying what the Jedi were always meant to be. Like, I just, growing up with Luke, I didn't want to, it was hard for me to accept the analysis that in the prequel, the Jedi are flawed. I was like, no, like they're the Jedi, they're the, but like, so, and I've come to, anyway, blah, blah, blah. But
no,
I love getting to see the Jedi in the High Republic of like really embodying their, living up to their ideals, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite High Republic character? I feel like I have like, there's probably like 3 that I'm like, if I had to guess for you, but I think I'm curious what you have to say.
Yeah. I have several, like, I really love Stellan Gios.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I don't know, like there is like I related to his journey of like wanting so desperately to do the right thing, but then being maybe that being the flaw, like that. The
Mhm.
flaw is you think you're not accepting that you need help, not accepting that you are not perfect, and then maybe in your pursuit of perfection and not wanting to admit that you're not perfect, then maybe trying to hide it or cover it, or just so that was pretty great. And I love how I love how Cavan dealt with Elzar on the opposite side of that spectrum.
Yep.
And just showing the strength in being open about what's going on with you and not feeling like, and just so that's and then I'm cheat. Like, I love Avar. Like, I love that,
basically just all the firebrands.
Seeing the Forest is the song. Yeah. So like, I think that's so cool. Cause I sing a little bit in church. So I love the idea of like harmony and how different notes come together to form this chord. And like, it's just so anyway. Yeah. But
yeah.
Then, I loved Loading Greatstorm.
Yes.
There's just too many, but yeah.
It's like the High Republic is in and of itself, like Will said in the opening, is Star Wars is such a buffet when it comes to the content that we have. The High Republic is like a miniature buffet in the sense of like how many characters there are and stuff. But I have not made my way through all of the High Republic stuff, but I remember when I was reading Light of the Jedi for the first time a year or so ago, and it got to that point where Avar is using the lightsaber to like basically like sync up with the Force so she can like help the other Jedi to get the meteors and stuff, the asteroids. I was like, this is one of the coolest things I've ever read. But yeah, anyway. So I had to geek out a little bit there because I was like, you as a Star Wars fan have to have some of your own favorite niche stuff, and of course, you doing a lot of the High Republic stuff. When I see the Stellan saber, I see the poster back there. I'm like, yeah.
Oh wait, but if Seth's not here, but like somebody made me this. I play Star Wars Unlimited, and like this is like an like,
dude. I want those High Republic cards so bad, man.
They're awesome.
They're so cool. I love them.
Anytime it comes up for Unlimited, we're always like, yeah, Mark and Seth looked like they had so much fun. Because we like, I know Grayson has gotten to it a little bit with like stuff, but like I know nothing about the game other than like, the art looks cool, and every time I see the art, I'm like, man, that's awesome. But like every time it comes up with anybody, like any of our friends are like, oh, you should learn how to play. We're like, yeah. Mark and Seth did look like they were having a lot of fun playing and they were into it. Like, that's my gauge of like, oh yeah, that would be fun because Mark and Seth like it. So
it also, when they drop this artwork, and I love that they've also put legend stuff in there of like, I think I have like a Kreia card from like KOTOR 2. And I was like, this is sick. But I was like, when they dropped like, Seth will send us like some of the new artwork and stuff. And when they did like the Stranger, I was like, like, dude,
locked in.
I was like, the artwork alone is enough to get me in. I just have to sit down and take the time to like learn, like build a deck and everything. But
Revan's in there now too, and so
it's so cool that they're like, yeah, it's just a sandbox of we're gonna make whatever we want that exists in Star Wars. Which have they? You mentioned Force Unleashed, but we'll get back to questions here in a second. Did they do a Star Killer yet?
Not yet. And they should, because they did a Cal Kestis, and there's some cool, like they've got like a BD1 thing, and like that was really fun.
Yeah,
but yeah, it would be awesome to have Star Killer in there. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. I was gonna say when you mentioned Force Unleashed, and then I'll let Will take the reins here. I've not listened to the audiobooks for the Force Unleashed audiobook, and I was just like, I thought it was so cool that you got to do those. So knowing that you were also a fan of that is very cool. I'm sure that was fun.
Yeah.
Continuing with favorite Star Wars, we've got a lot of new Star Wars that is coming out over this next year, as well into 2027, as well as the return of A New Hope in theaters. So this might be the hardest question you have to answer. Do you have a most anticipated upcoming Star Wars project over the next year into 2 years?
Oh, year into 2
years. Yeah, you as a fan, do you have a most anticipated project coming out?
We've got I'm trying to like think of all the stuff to maybe help you out here because I'm like, obviously we've got like Ahsoka, Shadow Lord,
Shadow
stuff
Lord,
like that.
Mando Grogu. I know Starfighter is next year.
Yeah.
Galactic Racer, the game.
Oh yeah.
There's a bunch.
I think most anticipated is going to be Ahsoka season 2. Just because, like, with Rebels being my favorite animation, like, I loved getting to see Ezra and Sabine and all them. So I want to see what they're going to do there. And I feel like Thrawn's going to really get to flex in season 2. Like, I feel like it was great seeing him in live action, but I feel like we're going to finally get to see him on screen unraveling one of his master plans. And so I'm really excited to see that. I think Filoni alluded to the fact that Akbar and him are going to go head to head, which is going to be really cool. So, so that's probably my number 1, followed very, very closely by Mando Grogu, just because, like, I'm a big Mandalorian fan, and I'm super excited to see what they do there. And so, it's like you've been saying, it's like there's too many great choices, but those would be my top. I'm very excited to see what they do with Starfighter. I just don't know as much about it, so I don't know what to get latched onto. But I love Sean Levy, and I love Ryan Gosling, and I think is Amy Adams in that too.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be. I mean,
the cast list is great for that movie. Like Aaron Pierre is also in it, who's going to be Jon Stewart in the Green Lantern show. So, like,
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's on the cast list. Somebody from I forget his name. He was one of the doctors for a long
Matt
time.
Something. Is it Shepard?
Smith?
Oh, Matt Smith is going to be. Yeah.
He's in it.
Yeah. We also
in it.
Tom Cruise filmed a lightsaber fight.
I kind of wish we didn't know there was a lightsaber in this one.
I know. I was like, that was kind of a big bomb to drop. Like, if there was a movie like Starfighter, it's like, oh, there's not going to be lightsabers. But the fact that it's a lightsaber fight after the sequels is kind of like, I'm like, okay, well, who's fighting? Because
I
don't know.
Very interesting.
Maybe it's Rey. I hope it's Rey. Please be Rey.
Hope it's Rey.
Give Rey her own hallway scene of, like, give her the cloak and yellow lightsaber aura, please.
Yeah, I need to see that yellow lightsaber in action.
I'm going to be disappointed if it's not that.
It probably won't be. It'll probably be some, like, bum that, like, got a lightsaber off the black market or something, and they're like, I got a lightsaber now. But or it'd be really, bro. If it was Finn, that'd be insane.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
Like, Finn just shows up and he's just a Jedi at this point, and you're like,
he takes off the hood and it's Finn. Yeah. Would be cool.
I gotta temper my expectations. I gotta
darn. Yeah, I need to mind wipe myself so I'm not disappointed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, there's a lot of good stuff. Also, just like good books and stuff coming out. Like later this year.
Oh yeah.
I'm pumped for. Is it it's Legacy, the Rey and Leia book between 8 and 9. I'm really pumped for that book.
Can't wait. They actually just announced today for September 15th, Reign of the Empire, Edge of the Abyss.
Oh, the second book. Yeah. Sonny just sent me the details about it, that it's set 1 year before Andor.
Okay, right. Okay, yeah. So these are the kind of, yes.
Yeah, cool. The Mask of Fear books. I was like, that's cool. I didn't know that was coming out this year. So, but
they just keep releasing stuff, which is great for Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Going back to some of your performances and things, and not necessarily, well, a little bit of Master of Evil, but also another Vader book that just kind of it's been out for a while, but the audiobook with the Essential Legends collection, you did Rise of the Dark Lord by James Luceno, which was super cool. I got to listen to it, a little bit of it. Did playing Vader in Master of Evil feel different when you were doing that book versus Master of Evil, or with Dark Lord or Master of Evil, or did you feel like there was kind of a similar connection and through line? Because a lot of people have said that with Rise of the Dark Lord, Master of Evil, there's kind of a kind of a spiritual successor kind of mentality, but it's also, I mean, I'm fairly certain that with Rise of the Dark Lord, it's more from Vader's POV than Master of Evil. So how did that feel for you?
Yeah, it was cool because, like, with Rise, it was like interesting to kind of be in. I loved the descriptions of him in the suit and like how painful it was to just move, and how that pain fed into his being able to tap into the dark side. And so like that was interesting, and to tap into that. And then I think they both have in common this, like, which is easy to forget when you only focus on the original trilogy, but just how desperately he wants Padme, or regrets Padme dying, and wanted to maybe resurrect Padme, or so like that was fun to play both of those things. So it was really, really cool, and I think they did kind of feed off of each other in that way. So yeah.
There's one thing that I think both Adam Christopher in the modern age and James Luceno in the Legends days both are very, very good about writing dark side characters.
Yeah.
I know that you did not do the audiobook for this one, but if you ever get a chance, to read Shadow of the Sith or listen to Shadow of the Sith, which is a Luke Skywalker Lando team up novel, 18 years after.
Yes.
That book, Adam Christopher, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I love. There is a moment in that book within like the first third of it that you will stand up out of your chair and be like, "What?" Like it's insane. So yeah. So as a fellow fan, I know you'd appreciate it. I think it's really cool that like both Master of Evil and Dark Lord were both kind of fresh off the heels of Revenge of the Sith, and you get those inner descriptions of the suit and stuff. So that's it's fun that you get to do both.
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah,
really cool. So we've been yapping Star Wars for about an hour now. Our last question is, look, it's as short as an answer you want. It's as long as an answer you want. Sometimes it is the hardest question to answer, but it is a short question. Why do you love Star Wars?
Ooh. Yeah. I love it because I love I don't want it to sound preachy, but I love the message of Star Wars. I love, and I think this was a stated goal of George Lucas, is that he wanted to create a modern day mythology that would help, kids learn right from wrong, and I really latched onto that. I think it obviously it's cool to see spaceships and Wookiees and lightsabers, and that's probably the part that maybe got me in the door. But what kept me hanging around is just the idea that there is light and darkness in all of us, and we've got to try to keep that in balance. And we want to, be in the light, and we want to be servants of the light, and try to, be selfless instead of selfish. And that, for me personally, I love the idea that there's a greater power that is beyond us, and that we can tap into if we train ourselves to do that. Like if we determine our focus, you can ignore it and kind of be oblivious to it. But if you train yourself to look for it, it's there, and you can see it working, and you can see it all around you at all times. And so I just think that's cool. I love the message of found family. I love the message of, resisting evil and trying to be a force for good. And I just all of it. I love it. And I'm and when you put all that in the sci-fi wrapping, you've got me because I love anything science fiction, like whether it's, Star Trek or Battlestar Galactica, or, I'm watching Foundation right now, and just like any of that stuff, I'm just totally sucked into. So the fact that it's like has that deep spiritual side, but it's also got that really fun stuff. It's like, it's just, it's like perfect.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Look, we always say there is no wrong answer to that question, but that was absolutely the right answer. And selfishly, for two people who have a podcast called Determined Focus, the amount that you talk about the spirituality of the Force, as well as like, look, my username is Will of the Force, and Grayson's is Mortis FM. We love when the Force gets weird and like the woo-woo of the Force, as much as we do love the spaceships and the Wookiees and the lightsabers and blasters and all of that stuff, and the minutia of Star Wars, if you will. The stuff that, like you said, gets you in the door. That overarching message is truly what, in my adult age, keeps me coming back to this thing that has forced me to keep my Lego collection since I was a kid, and forced me to keep playing these video games. So it's look, we love the work that you've done for Star Wars. However, since meeting you at ICC, we are just fans of you specifically. So we truly appreciate you taking the time to come on, dude.
You guys are awesome. I love, I've since followed you guys, and I love all your videos that you guys do, and I love your perspective on Star Wars, and then your enthusiasm for it too. Like
it's not hard to get us riled up about Star Wars. So you put that logo on anything, and we'll be. There's a spoon in Walmart that I see. I'm like, oh, they got the Star Wars spoons. Like, I'm a pretty easy sell when it comes to Star Wars.
No, I was in like Publix the other day, and I was like, there's two things that get me going. It's Spider-Man and Star Wars, and I was like, Spider-Man bag, Star Wars bag, and my girlfriend's like, okay, so yeah, but it really does help when you are as obviously you work very hard and put a lot of thought and effort into what you do in your craft, but it's also just so awesome that you're a fan and you're such a easygoing guy and someone who's just fun to talk to and just nerd out about this stuff, even outside of the professional side of it. So again, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being a friend of the pod, if you will.
Yes. Totally.
Yeah. Before we leave, plug your stuff. This will be out on Monday. We know that you've always got Comic-Con and convention appearances coming up. Plug your stuff to let people know where you're going to be over. It'll be out in a week. So over next 2 months, where you're going to be next.
I'm going to be in April. I'm going to be at the Lone Star Card Show. I do a bunch of stuff for like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And so a lot of people will be going there for that type of thing. But I always do have Star Wars stuff with me if you are a fan of the audiobooks and you want to come see me there. I should have had my calendar in front of me, but I'm going to be in Orlando in August at a Nostalgia Con.
Nice.
And
Cool.
I think I'm going to be towards the end of the year, like Portland and some other places. I think I'm going to be in Jersey at some point. That definitely. But if you stalk my Instagram, I try to promote those things coming up. So, but yeah.
Yeah, and we'll link everything to your Instagram and to your schedule, what's posted and what's not. We'll have that pop up.
And I'm sure, and I'm not wrenching anything out of you, but I'm sure we will also hear your voice again at some point within the next year or two, hopefully. Maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. You might get to hear me in the cockpit of an X-Wing sometime later this year. So.
That's crazy, and that's where we have to leave it, Mark. Darn it!
That's awesome.
That's not fair, Mark. Mark got us back for making Thrawn number 5 in his blind ranking. Oh God, Mark, we truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on. May the Force be with you always, and Grayson.
But more importantly, your focus determines your reality. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.